Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where you find me in a bit of seasonal spring cleaning. Found myself with a little bit of spare time today, so I thought I'd get the old collection out, take stock of it, sling some batteries in a few bits and pieces, make sure everything's cycling all right, barrels are clean, that kind of deal. Grease slides and all that shenanigans. And I thought, while everything's out on the deck and we can see it all plain as day, I would run the camera over it for you and we do that sort of yearly collection video that I like to do. And you'd be able to take stock and see what's left after everything that transpired in 2022. So, as I'm sure you can appreciate, 2022 was particularly difficult for me, and as a result, we had to get rid of a fair amount of the collection. But hopefully, you'll agree that we have left the best bits intact. And let's kick things off. Let's take a quick look at my workhorses, if you like. These are the loaners that tend to go out to friends and families. My GNG CM16s. As you'd expect from these things, I have no doubt I'll put a battery in this thing in a minute and it will turn over as if it was used yesterday, despite all the seasonal rust which is now appearing on the forward assists and that kind of thing. They do get beaten about a hell of a lot. Like I say, friends and family take these things out. They get dropped in the mud. But yeah, I've no worries about those things at all. I'm sure they will fire up first time. Moving on, we have the only LMG left in my collection, which is, of course, my Wolverine powered custom 249 from Airsmiths, now with a seasonal winter storage patina, as we can see. So that's going to have to be all rubbed down and probably stripped off and repainted, I'd imagine, to get a nice finish back on that. But again, being HPA, are not really worried. I'm sure this thing will fire up first time, not a problem at all. We have my classic army, PDW9. I think it's actually designated a PX9 with drum mag. Again, kids love this one. Absolutely solid. The 1500 round drum mag just turns it into a mini LMG for them, really. I still profess that these things are better than ARP9s. Moving on to the pistols, we kept hold of one of the gold matches, my dual ASGs there. The SIG M17, got my Glock 17. Obviously, my big iron revolver there, which look, I'm still professing to this day I am going to paint up and customize to look like the Ace of Spades. Deagle AAP 01 in the SRU PDW kit. That's all going to get transformed with my armor soon enough as well. Obviously, I had to keep hold of the TM MP7. That's a staple of the collection, really, and the go-to sort of CQB setup. The KWA Ronin TAC 45, which I still to this day profess is the best electronic recoil in the game today. My absolutely gorgeous 417, which is always on hand when I feel particularly Bravo 6 and want to go out and play a bit of SEAL team with the boys. Although arguably I could also use the SCAR now that Ray in the show seems to use the SCAR more and more these days as well, albeit without a grenade launcher on the bottom of it. I I was willing to part with the L96, but no one wanted it, which was a huge surprise to me, really. Especially with the Counter-Strike skin on it. Maybe that was the turn-off, I don't know. Obviously, I still like it. I'm actually contemplating removing the wrap and trying to paint it up better myself. Although there is another project in mind for that as well. I'm not sure these are the optics of choice for most snipers, but I don't know. I kind of like it. Obviously, we kept the HGI, the big boy. That was never going to go anywhere. My P90, Gears of War inspired P90 which after, again, a winter's worth of storage is looking somewhat sorry for itself, but that won't take a lot to bring back to life, not at all. The TM Spas, another pride piece of my collection, really. Moving on, my FAMAS, which is, in my eyes, the perfect FAMAS setup. I think that looks gorgeous. And probably, in all honesty, this sort of thing is where I want to throw some effort in over 2023 and do more sort of builds like that, where I sort of add my own spin to the look of things, a bit like the P90, maybe not as extreme as the P90, but certainly coming up with perhaps some nice paint jobs and that kind of thing in the future for a few other bits and pieces that I've got left around in the collection. Obviously the Wolverine setup, the breacher there with the HPA as well as the Wolverine, both custom Cerakoted in Tornado Grey. Bit of a matching set. That'd be a nice loadout to actually run one day. The KWA Vector, which has done nothing really but gather dust over the last couple of months. I've got loads of mags for it. It should get more use than it does, honestly, but I treat it with a bit of kid gloves because parts are difficult, I believe. Much like this one here, where parts will almost be impossible to get hold of. I do see more of these cropping up on Marketplace now, though, so you know the possibility is there that you could buy one for as a parts gun and that kind of thing. So again, this one's stayed in its box for good reason up until now, but I really do just want to take it out. One thing I discovered when I had to sell a lot of the collection last year was that, in all honesty, everyone wants a bargain when you're trying desperately to sell something. So the value isn't there, and necessarily what I thought I had tied up in these guns in value, when I come to sell them, it just isn't there, you know, and you ended up feeling like you were giving things away for much less than they were worth. Yeah, certainly to me as well. So if this falls into the same category, that I don't think it's you know physically worth as much money as I think it is, then balls to it. We're going to start taking it out. We're going to start using it. I'll try and get Brett over at Outlaw Airsoft to perhaps put a Meteor spring in it if it's not going to completely disintegrate the internals. And we'll try and get it actually functioning as a damn good sort of DMR setup, really. Finally, last but not least, the TM MP5, probably the newest rifle in my collection. Again, a bit like the PSG one, hasn't actually come out of its box that much. Yes, it's been test fired and all the rest of it, but since getting it in a trade, it's largely sat there looking pretty along with its counterpart, its HK counterpart down here. So, like I say, guys, they're all going to get a bit of a service today, a bit of a look at, albeit not this one, because I already know we have a problem with this one because I broke it myself, which I'm sure we can go into in another video when I start tearing it down and you can see how incompetent I am at maintenance and servicing. So today, these guys are all going to get a bit of a barrel clean, run a couple of mags through them and make sure everything's cycling and working hunky-dory, and we'll get ready for the new season. Cool. Thanks very much for joining me, guys. There will be more content coming out very soon. I do plan to sort of, now that everything's settled down a bit, get back to things in 2023. Start churning out some content and making some gameplay videos and stuff like that as well. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for sticking with the channel and supporting us through good times and bad. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks very much.